Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be visiting Facebook a little bit because a friend of mine, the Terrell Brown, posted a TikTok video that says God does not prepare a man for woman, he prepares woman for man. And basically the TikTok video says, if woman is set up as the ideal pursuit, the feminine, it's simpler words than this, but these are my words, then the pursuit stops at her. That's it. It doesn't go beyond it because it stops at her. That's it. It's the flesh, and the female, the feminine, becomes the god. Embodiment of the feminine becomes the god. And you know what? That's pretty strong in the Eastern cultures and the Eastern religions, east of Eden, the karmic cycle and all that stuff. The mother was viewed as, well, that's where life came from, right? You die, you go to the earth, and then animals eat grass out of the earth, and then they give birth, and it's just a giant cyclical, recycled version of life. So that can kind of make sense, except as we're followers of Christ, we believe in the Bible, and so that doesn't really hold water. You need to live beyond that. So agency is in the masculine. So he said, what does the Bible say? She had a video like that. I will try to link it in the comments, or in the description below, forgive me. So I responded, in the masculine-feminine relationship, the agency is in the male. The pursuit must go beyond the feminine, lest we sacrifice everything to the flesh, rather than the creator thereof. The whole relationship element echoes the creation of reality, the abstract and the material interacting. And Nikia posted, I understand the first two sentences, explain the last. So that, I tried to type that, and holy crap, it's just too much. So I'm going to try to explain as best I can how the material and the abstract connect. So we're going to go to Genesis, and I'm going to bounce this off of science from what we know of the first picoseconds of the universe creation. So in the beginning, God, this is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, or the face of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. God saw the light, that it was good. God divided the light from the darkness. So what do we have here? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void. So Jordan Peterson calls this the dragon of chaos. What was before time? Everything and nothing at the same time. That's chaos. Like, who knows what that is? We cannot fathom that in our limited minds and limited capacities. But if you have everything and nothing at the same time, the second you have one thing different, you have a relationship. And chaos is like infinite if you think beyond that. Like, it's infinite before, infinite after. There is no time up and down. There's no laws of physics that we know thereof. But the second you have something different or something stable or something stationary, then you have a relationship between the finite, because it wasn't there before, now it is, and the infinite chaos. Right? I hope you're following me. That's the creation. So in the Genesis stories, the earth was without form and void. That's the chaos. And darkness was on the face of the deep. So one thing we know about science is that time cannot exist without light. This is the theory of relativity. You cannot have time without light. And what does light do? Light tells you what is there and what is not there. So we have differences, the heavens and the earth. And the differences can be perceived. You can perceive the differences. There's differences between the finite and the infinite at this point. We know that all the laws and the quarks and the chemical makeup of the universe in the first picoseconds, which is how long it takes light to travel the width of human hair, by the way. It said the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Spirit with a capital S in mind. So that's the Holy Spirit, per se. I think this is where we get reality itself as being the Holy Spirit. It's like the past. And the masculine is usually represented by the future or the vision forward. And the way I get this, at least it's embodied in you and me, is you actually look in the negative. And God is a very interesting way of showing us. He proclaims what is good, tells us what's bad, and then we have to figure out, yeah, that actually was bad. So in antisocial circles, right, the feminine, the women groups, when they work together, if they want to destroy each other, if they're having a negative or an outage, they gossip. They destroy your innocence. They destroy your past. For men, it's a little bit different. We fight. Like, we have it's called the monkey dance. I think it was Frank Miller that wrote a book called Facing Violence. I think it's Frank Miller. And it's the monkey dance. It's like you push, I push, and the second someone touches a face, or if there's a girl watching, then we slug it out. So what is that doing? That's damaging the future. You give someone an injury, they're damaged into the future. So that's another way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is also, if you research mythology, everything east of Eden is basically like you go toward the planet worship side. It's usually a feminine hierarchy as far as gods go, and you sacrifice lest the feminine come and take you. West of it's called Occidental mythology. The idea is that it's usually a masculine hierarchy of gods, and if you follow that route, you will be rewarded. But if you don't follow that route, the world will have you. And that's just how things are. So you see the elements of the masculine and the feminine. One is chaos, one is substance itself. Now, it's also psychologically proven that women think more negative thoughts, and they think more internally about themselves. That's not diminishing women, and there always are exceptions, but these are the extremes. Statistically, that's just how it is. And that makes sense, because women literally have life inside of them. Life comes through them. It's so interesting to me that Adam named Eve. He didn't have to. It could have been just the creature that life comes from, but he gave her a name. So it's when you give something a name, you like put a box around it, like that is what this is. So he gave Eve a name. Like he named all the animals before. And so this is like a cat, right? Cats only do cat things. Cat. Animals can't do this to us. We can violate our nature in a whim, but animals can't seem to do that. They kind of stay in line with their nature. So you have nothingness and you have no movement. You have the Spirit of God hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And that's agency. This is one of the reasons why agency, I think, is in the masculine. We, as males, are spurred on by the feminine figure. You can look at this as like, it's etched into us so deeply. It's biology. This is why when we're looking for a mate, we look for the youthful. Like 16 to 22 is prime, as far as I know, prime reproductive age for a woman. Why? Because you have an awesome chance of surviving childbirth. Like, really good. Nowadays, in our culture, we kind of take that for granted, but that used to not be as such. And women usually look at men as being a little older, because as you get older, you've survived a while. You're a little experienced. You can take care of her as she might have to stop moving for a while and take care of an infant. So that kind of works out, right? The other part of it, once we get into the scriptures, is you look at the only two commands given to Adam and Eve in the garden, which is be fruitful and multiply. So that's be productive, learn about your environment, make it better so you can survive, and have kids. And those things are so etched into us, like we forget the multiply part actually as a child at the end of it. The urge is just so powerful in us, in our DNA, because God did make all that stuff, that it's almost like we feel compelled to. So in the creation story, you have God saying, "Let there be," and then reality reacting accordingly. Reality has prepared itself to act properly. Now, the masculine also has to act properly to the feminine, right? You have to treat her correctly. So, as God is calling the law into being, he can't make gravity suddenly act like magnetism. He can't make light suddenly act like fire. Like, the laws have to be in a specific way in order to form reality itself. And reality comes along for the ride. And so what you have is you have a relationship between the abstract, let there be, the laws of the universe, which eventually we get to the moral laws, and you have the material, the substance. Each one of us is made up of heart and mind. Now, we have to lead with the head. The reason we have to lead with the head is because everybody has made decisions when you're ruled by anger, lust, joy, because that's ignorance, right? You could be ignorantly joyful. Intoxication, rage, envy. You let those lead, and you see where they get you. You usually make the worst decisions in your life. But if you let the head lead, for the sake of the emotion, and that's the material, that's substance itself, then you lead a good life. That's the way things should be, the agencies and the masculine. So I know that was maybe a little lengthy, but I hope that answers why I said the whole relationship element echoes the creation of reality, the abstract and the material interacting. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Take care.